How's it going, guys? So this short tutorial video will be showing you how you can capture and store information from your Voiceflow chatbots into a Google Sheet or into Airtable, whatever it may be. So this is going to be a little bit different to some of my other videos. I normally go over quite complex automations and complex chatbots and voice agents and things of that nature, but I wanted to, I want to start focusing more on the basics and more beginner-friendly content, because I know that helps a lot of you guys out whenever you're getting started, and it's hard to find on YouTube, basic tutorials and the basic stuff of Voiceflow, especially if you're starting your agency or if you just want one for your own business. So yeah, this is going to be a little bit different, but I think it's going to be very helpful, and I'm going to add this into our learning center so you can get the template completely for free, the make and the Voiceflow side of things, because there's going to be sort of two parts to this video. But yeah, so lead capture, information capture, it can be used in pretty much any chatbot. I mean, even if you have a customer support chatbot and you want to capture the user's inquiry, whatever it is that they're saying, if you want to ask qualifying questions and capture the user's response, if you want to capture details for booking a meeting or for anything of that nature, this is very, very powerful, and it can be pretty much tied into any solution. So that's what I'm going to be showing you guys today, and without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so the example that we're going to do today is just a basic information capture flow from the user. So we're going to be grabbing their name, their email, their phone number, their URL, and things of that sort of nature. And then we're going to be asking a couple basic qualifying questions, sending that data to make.com to add to a sheet, and we'll give it a wee test at the end. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to prompt the user to say something, whatever that may be, whether you're directly asking them a question or you're telling the user, okay, feel free to ask me any question if it's like an information retrieval, customer support system, for example. But we'll keep things simple, and we will just ask the user to tell us their name. So just quickly before we start, these two kind of cards with drop downs. So the talk and the listen, you can kind of it's pretty self-explanatory. So the talk is the chatbot saying something to the user. So what is your name? Where are you from? That kind of thing. And the listen basically has a card. So after the chatbot says something, it will move on to the capture step, and it will not move until the user says something. And of course there is a prompt here, and you can add images and cards for like products and carousels, but we're just going to stick to a message, just a basic text message, and a prompt as well, which basically will prompt a message, so it can be dynamic, but I'll not get carried away. So anyway, we'll just ask the user, hi there, thanks for stopping by, what is your full name? What is your full name? So that is what the user will see, and we can generate a couple variants with AI, so it's a bit more fluid and that doesn't sound very robotic. Hey there, thanks for dropping in, may I have your full name? And that all sounds good. So now let's capture what the user says. So we're going to get the capture module and pull that over here. So it's kind of visualized, you can kind of see how it will work. Once the conversation is started, the first thing that will be said, the first thing that will happen is the agent will say this, hi there, thanks for stopping by. What is your full name? And then we'll move on to this node, which is the capture. And before moving on, the user has to say something before moving on to the next node. So let's capture what the user says. So in the capture node, you can see up here, there's capture entities or entire user reply. So if we want to capture a name, the user may say, my name is insert name. And we only want their name. The rest is irrelevant, and it's not important at all. We just want to extract the user's name from whatever they say. So we're going to use an entity, and obviously the entire user reply is the entire user reply. It will capture the entire string. So if we come over to entities, we can hit add an entity, create an entity, and thankfully Voiceflow already have a load of data types pre-built. And as you can see, there's pretty much everything you'd need for information capture. It's already here, number, email, age, URL, all that sort of stuff. So we're going to be using name, and we're going to call the variable name. And all the values are pre-built, so we don't have to do anything. And the reprompt, so basically whenever you set up an entity, you need a reprompt. So if the user says something that isn't a name, if no name is detected, then it will enter a reprompt. So basically, I'll give you an example. Sorry, I didn't catch that. Please enter your full name. So it's essentially fallbacks, and we can generate a couple variants. So it sounds lovely and conversational. and we'll give it a wee test. Beautiful. So now what we can do is if we run, we need to make sure, so with entities, it's using NLP, so natural language processing, I'm pretty sure it's called. So basically you need to train it, you need to memorize it, and then, really, bury it into your agent. Not with AI, because AI is already trained, it's already built. I'll not get into that. So you always need to train your agent if you're using entities and, things of that sort of nature. Intents as well, you need to train it so it gets used to it. Not exactly sure the logic behind it. So if we open up this wee side panel, we can see all of our agent variables, and the one that we just created is name, which is right there. So hopefully, if all goes to plan, I will say my name is insert my name, and only my name will show up here. So let's give it a test. So great, hello there, thanks for visiting. May I ask for your full name? My full name is Finley Topping. Enter. And my name. Beautiful. So it's not capturing any of that stuff. That's irrelevant. It only detects the name there, and it only extracts that, which is great. So essentially, it's a lot of just rinse and repeat. I mean, if you're asking qualifying questions, it's even easier because you don't even need to use entities. You only really need to use entities if you're looking for specific data, like, information, personal details, that kind of thing. So we'll just keep cracking on, and now we'll ask for email. I'll tell you what we'll do. We will ask for an email and a phone number in the same message to use two entities in one capture, so we can extract 2 points of data from one user response. So thank you. Oh, spelled that wrong. Thank you. Could you now please enter your phone number and email address? Generate a couple variants. Yes, that'll do. And let's set up the capture. So we're going to be using two entities here. And the first one is going to be email. And we're going to call it, you guessed it, email. Create entity. And we're going to add another entity. It's going to be called phone number or phone. And we're going to select number, create entity. So whenever the user says something back, whenever the user responds to this question, it's going to be looking for an email and a phone number. And if it doesn't detect it, then it's going to reprompt. So let's set up the reprompts. Edit. Where are the reprompts? Where'd they go? No reply, automatic reprompt. So we turn off automatic reprompt. We can write our own. Please enter your email address again. Generate a couple of variants. We're going to do the same for phone. Please enter your phone number again. Generate a couple of variants. Unable to generate. That's not good. Generated. Wonderful. So we're going to capture the name, the email, the phone number, then we're going to ask a qualifying question, and then we're going to move over to make and get this information saved, because I do not want to drag this video long because it is a very bad habit of mine. So now let's give it a test. So if we come over to the emulator and run, let's just make sure we're trained up, train the agent, and we can see the new entities that we created. So entities just act as variables. We can see email and we can see phone. So that's what we're looking for. And now the agent is trained. Let's run the test again. Hi there, what's your full name? In the typing. Oh, we're not typing. Great. Finny Topping, that's my new name. And now we're here. Would you mind entering your phone number and your email? So as you can see, the entity worked fine, even though that was the entire user response. So let's try it. My email is agency@efficusai.co.uk. Did I spell that right? I did. Let me move you up here. And my phone number is +44. That is not my real phone number, so do not try to call me. And we'll see if we're working. Beautiful. So email, where is email? So the email, it was able to pull, as you can see it working in the back end here. Email equals, and it detects the email. Phone equals, and it detects the phone number. Okay, so this is basically like a 101 of Voiceflow entities. They're so powerful. I didn't understand them at the start. I didn't know how they worked, to be quite frank. So hopefully this is kind of cleared the fog in that. So we're able to just take the important data from a user's input, and now we'll just ask a basic qualifying question. What will we ask? We will say, what is your biggest pain point? And we'll just keep it very simple and capture the entire user reply. So we'll come up here, move you down here, and we'll save that to a new variable. So we're gonna create a new variable, and we do that over here. Variables, new variable. This is gonna be pain points, create variable. Wonderful. So a variable and an entity pretty much work the same, except entities can individually look for points of information and then store it with that. And then a variable is just, entire user reply is just the same as an entity, but it doesn't look for information. It just captures everything. So we are saving this information to pain points. Beautiful. So now we're capturing, we don't even need to test this because it is 100% going to work. There's no funny business going on. So what we're doing here, hi there, thanks for stopping by. We're pulling just the name from the entire user string, and we're pulling the email and the phone number here from the entire user string as we ask them for two important data points. We ask them for phone number and email address. So now we've got all this information, they're saved in our variables. Now we're going to send this somewhere. So the API step is pretty much allows you to just take your information from Voiceflow and just send it out into the world wherever you want. So if you haven't used the API step before, well, in this case, we're only going to be using the post. So you can think post and get are the ones that you're probably going to be using the most. Get is if you want to retrieve information from somewhere and pull it back into Voiceflow. Post is like you're posting a parcel to your friend. You post something out and you send it away from your Voiceflow agent. And then put, delete, patch is all stuff that you don't need to worry about. So post, where are we going to post it to? We need to find our address. So if we come over to make.com, create a new scenario, you want to look for the module called webhook, custom webhook. So think of this as like an address to where you're posting your information to. And we'll call this new webhook Voiceflow tutorial. Save. And it'll give you this little URL, and you want to copy the address. So this is the address that you're posting your information to. And you come up here, paste that in there, and then we're good to go. So what we need to do now is we need to add the information that we're sending. So you want to come down to body, and basically what we're going on here is, so there's 2 points, form data, which is, there's a key and there's a value. So your key is basically the name of the variable that will be showing up in make.com, and the value is the information that is contained within that variable. So for the first one, we're going to call it name, and we're going to attach the value of that variable, which is going to be the name entity, which we captured here. And we're going to go back and add a few more, and I'm going to move my loaf over here so I can see. So we've got name in there. We're going to add another one called email. And you guessed it, we're going to attach the email variable in there. So the value of email will be under that variable in make.com. We're going to add another one being phone number. Phone number. And then we're going to add one last one, which is pain points, and then we're going to attach the pain points variable. Where is it? Pain points. Beautiful. So now what we're going to do is we're going to test it. So in make.com, you want to hit run once, and we'll get the information into our make scenario by sending a request. So we're just going to fill in, oh, there's my real information. Okay, well, there's my real phone number. No beating around the bush. If you want to ring me, give me a call and we'll have a conversation. Pain points, test, generate. And what we're looking for is 200. 200, okay, wonderful. And we can see our information. It's so simple, guys. This is the most basic API usage that you can use. So we've got our information into make.com. We've got our information out of the agent. Now let's add it into a Google Sheet. So after the information hits the webhook, and in make.com, there's a trigger module, and you see this wee thing here. Obviously, it's like a lightning kind of flashy sort of object. It's either that or a clock, and if it's that lightning sort of symbol, it basically means whenever data hits this module, it will trigger, and the clock basically means whenever you schedule it to run, it will run. So we don't need to set a timer for this to happen. Whenever data hits this module, this scenario will run 100% of the time, no questions asked. So Google Sheets, we are going to add a row onto a Google Sheet, and we are going to, I think I have created a new spreadsheet, untitled spreadsheet I have. So we're going to call this, tutorial, we're going to call it YouTube tutorial leads. Sorry, got a new keyboard, so I'm getting used to typing on it. And we're going to essentially add our headers in here. So we're going to add, if it'll let me type, we are typing name, email, phone, pain points. Beautiful. So obviously I've only added a couple points in here, a couple data points that we're collecting, because you can really just extrapolate on what we've done here and build this out. We've covered the fundamentals that will allow you to basically build this for anything, for any use case. Okay, so we'll make this clear so we know what we're doing. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to send over to make.com, and we're going to map the fields in, so whenever the information hits the webhook, it will trigger a Google Sheet automation to fire the information in these columns. So whenever a conversation is happening on Voiceflow, the information will automatically appear on the Google Sheet. Very, very simple, guys. I love this. This is just so simple and easy. So the spreadsheet ID will be, where is it? Too many sheets. YouTube tutorial leads. Beautiful. We'll see the headers pop up. So sheet 1, obviously in a Google Sheet, you can add basically multiple sheets in one sort of sheet, I guess you could say, and it always just defaults to sheet 1. So if you're ever confused there, just always hit sheet 1, and then the headers will pop up. Table does contain headers, name, email, phone, pain points. Lovely. This is the best part. You just map them in. Name, email, phone number, and pain points, and we're done. So there's so much more that you can do with this. This is just the fundamental framework of how it works, covered in depth, because you don't see it covered in depth much on YouTube. The basic stuff like this, people just blow right past it. They just say, oh, well, you can capture this and send it to a Google Sheet. Okay, well, how do I do that? This is I try to make content that I would have liked when I started my AI agency, or when I started getting into AI automation. That's my thinking. I always like making content that me, like 2 years ago or like a year and a half ago, would be like, okay, this is brilliant. This is exactly what I needed. So that's kind of my thinking here, just going over the basics in a lot of depth, showing you exactly how they work, and even making a couple of mistakes along the line. That's the kind of like the way that I like to make my videos. So enough waffling from me. Let's give this a save. Always remember to save your make.com templates and your make.com scenario, because if you are working on a big scenario and you forget to save it, there is nothing worse than forgetting to save your scenario. It is a horrible feeling because you have to manually do it, but because it's not like Voiceflow or like any of these other platforms. So let's turn the scenario on. immediately as data arrives. So as you can see here, like I was saying before, you can, if we were to hit at regular intervals, it will change to a clock if I were to save that, but we're not going to do that. We're going to just do immediately. Scenario is on, and let's give it a run, and we'll give it a big final test. So, move my loaf, run, let's go. Are we trained? We are trained. We're good to go. Also, it never takes this long in a real chatbot. This is just the emulator being slow. Okay, so it's finally loaded after about 100 million years. So let's give this a final test. So we'll say Finley Topping is my name, and see what we're pulling out. Beautiful, and we'll say my email is EfficusAI.co.uk. My phone is 07. Make sure we've got the right digits in there. Shouldn't trigger a reprompt. Email address again. Okay. Ah, see, it's detected that. It's detected that I spelt it wrong. See how it takes this. So even if you say, an error, it doesn't just look for what, sort of resembles an email address. It will actually, determine if it is a real address or not. What is your biggest pain point? We are struggling to get leads. And this should be triggering our make.com scenario, provided the API call all goes to plan. Successfully triggered. Wonderful. Boom, boom, and boom. Easy as that, guys. And we're capturing the information from Voiceflow. So there's so many different ways that you can tie this in to so many different types of chatbots, but this is essentially fundamentally how it works and how easy it is to set up. So I mean, this hasn't been a super crazy in-depth tutorial. It's just been covering a very basic aspect in a lot of depth. So I hope it has been very, very useful. We have a Voiceflow affiliate link. If you want 2 million free tokens, it's in the description. You can go down there and get yourself some free 2 million tokens. You can run your chatbots clients cheaper. You can run your own chatbots cheaper, and it will be supporting me and my channel. And as well, I will put this as a template into our learning center, so you can go and get access to that. The link to that will be in the description. So I hope this was very helpful, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you thought this was helpful, consider liking, and if you have any issues or questions, just drop a comment, and I will try to get back as soon as possible. So thank you very much, guys. Have a great day.